As the sun begins to set, casting a golden glow over the gathering, Jesus speaks to his disciples and the crowd that has formed around him. He begins to share a powerful parable recorded in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verses 31 through 46. The anticipation grows as everyone leans in to hear his words. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne. Jesus starts, painting a vivid picture of the end times. The listeners can almost see the majestic scene unfolding before them. Jesus, the Son of Man, returning in all his glory, accompanied by a host of angels. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. The crowd visualizes the immense gathering of all people, standing before the throne, awaiting their judgment. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Jesus' words create a clear division, emphasizing the coming separation between those who have followed his ways and those who have not. The imagery of sheep and goats, familiar to his audience, makes the lesson immediately relatable. The listeners, fully engaged, are eager to understand the criteria for this separation. Jesus' tone is both authoritative and compassionate, inviting reflection and self-examination. With the audience captivated, Jesus continues his parable, explaining the criteria for the separation he described. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world." The listeners can sense the joy and relief in the king's invitation, picturing the righteous being welcomed into eternal glory. Jesus elaborates on the reasons for their reward. "For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me." Hello everyone. If you enjoy the parables and biblical stories we bring here on the channel, you can support us by making a donation of any amount on our Buy Me a Coffee page, thus encouraging us to continue bringing more profound content from the Holy Scriptures to you. Link in the first pinned comment. The crowd reflects on these acts of kindness, understanding that the righteous are recognized not for grand gestures, but for their everyday compassion and care for others. These simple yet profound acts of mercy define the character of those on the right. The righteous, puzzled by the king's praise, respond, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?" Jesus delivers the king's profound reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." The crowd is deeply moved by this revelation, understanding that their service to others is a direct service to the king himself. The parable illustrates that the reward of the... Hello everyone. If you enjoy the parables and biblical stories we bring here on the channel, you can support us by making a donation of any amount on our Buy Me a Coffee page, thus encouraging us to continue bringing more profound content from the Holy Scriptures to you. Link in the first pinned comment. Righteous is grounded in their genuine love and compassion for others, reflecting their true relationship with the King. The listeners are prompted to examine their own lives, considering how their daily actions align with these values. As the parable reaches its critical point, Jesus shifts his focus to those on the left, describing their fate with solemnity and clarity. The crowd listens intently, the weight of his words pressing heavily upon them. Then he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels." Jesus' tone is firm and sorrowful, underscoring the seriousness of the judgment awaiting the unrighteous. He continues, explaining the reasons for their condemnation. "For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not look after me." The crowd feels the stark contrast between the two groups, understanding that the unrighteous are condemned not merely for their actions, but for their neglect and indifference towards those in need. They too respond with confusion. "Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or needing clothes or sick or in prison and did not help you?" Jesus delivers the king's reply, filled with sorrowful finality. "Truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me." The parable's conclusion drives home the lesson that neglecting the needs of others is akin to neglecting the king himself. The crowd is left to reflect on their own lives, considering how they have responded to the needs around them and the eternal implications of their actions. Jesus' final words in the parable are both a warning and a call to action. Then they will go away to eternal punishment, but the righteous to eternal life. The stark reality of eternal consequences underscores the importance of living a life marked by compassion, service, and awareness of the needs of others.